Well, I'm about to test fit one of our door seals on this FX. This right-hand door is probably the best operational door on the car. It's already doesn't have any door seals. I just need to clean up this in a few areas. I'll need to pull the door off so that I can get that front edge done correctly. And then I need to see that's just one minor adjustment, but it still opens and closes pretty good. So I'll do some work, I'll prep it, and we'll film some of the installation of the door seal and then the end result. We've had some complaints that our door seals are too hard. We some 6 months ago changed the sponge compound to soften them up from what they used to be, and I believe that now they should fit quite well. I've actually test fitted some in another car, so we'll see how we go. Well, I've changed my mind. I'm actually going to do the left-hand door now. It's a fair bit more clean up in the door jambs, but the door was opening a lot better, opening and closing so much better that I think it'll be a better example. So I'll start you'll notice that I've had to take the door off. Those that don't take the door off on these vehicles will never get the door seals to sit and fit properly. So that's number one rule. Be it an FJ or an FC or an EK, doesn't matter, you still have to take the doors off to get these door seals sitting correctly in their channels. If they're not sitting 100% flat in the base of that channel and curving out nicely, the door seal won't work properly. Well, I've just we've pulled the door off, and we've began cleaning up this opening. As you can see, we've pretty much taken it back to bare metal. What I'm going to do now is rub it down a bit further, clean it up with thinners, and then we're going to etch prime it. That'll at least give the seal a chance to stick where it's supposed to stick. The only thing I've got to do here is this has had a patch in it here. Just going to get a grinder and cut that back out, because that's overlapping. That'll make the door seal sit out further. It's supposed to follow the line all the way through there, and it won't do that with this abortion of a job. So we'll cut that out, try and get it to fit a bit better than it might do if this is in its way. Alright, so the opening is nice and clean now. We're going to, I've washed it down with thinners and Prepsol. I'm going to blow some paint in there now, and then we'll come back tomorrow morning and fit up the door seal. It's just so important to have this area cleaned so that the seal has an opportunity to sit in the right spot. Alright, we're at the day after I've painted all of these, all the openings. It's been beautifully cleaned, which is what a lot of people don't concentrate on enough. I've got the rubber here in my hand. What I'm going to do is I need to clean it up with some Prepsol. I'll wipe out these channels with Prepsol, and then I'll start the installation. Alright. Generally what I do is I'll put it in there as a dry fit first, just to get the thing sitting where it should do for the lengths and so on. And I'll start gluing from the bottom corner. I'll come up, I'll glue up to about here, and then I'll glue along the bottom, up along here, all the way around, finish it about here. And then I'll do a miter cut on both lengths. I'll get the corner piece made properly, and then I'll just glue the last 3 inches of the top and the side. So we'll capture a little bit of that on the gluing in on film, just to show you the technique in putting it in. It's no point filming the whole fitment. And then once we've got it to that stage, we will refit the door and see how it fits. Alright, we've come all the way down here. and it's all fitting into the channel quite nicely. This is all nicely glued in. Scuff plate has to go across the top of that as well, but we won't fit the scuff plate for this purpose. Now we're going to come up this leg, and I'll just demonstrate to you a little bit of how I actually glue this in. And the idea is that with this Loctite 424, we sort of zigzag it down here. You don't have to put too much on. I'll get a little bit down in there, come back up, and then very carefully just stretch it up so that it's under tension. There's a plate that goes on here that'll also assist in it holding on, and just continue that process. This is the reason that you have to take the doors off. Some people try and poke this in behind the doors, and there's no way knowing you're ever going to get it to sit properly. Right, you remove the door, and that's what gives you the area to play with it properly. Important to make sure that you've got glue all the way down the surface, otherwise the water will get in underneath the seal when you're driving along and come inside the door, and then we'll be thinking that the door seals are leaking because of the product, and it won't be the product, it'll be the fitting. So again, make sure it's under tension, and as you can see, that's sitting fairly even all the way up. It's facing in, which is the way it's supposed to do, so that when the door closes, it closes up against it. Now we come into this corner. That's where we start. Do this bit by bit. Just another little tip, you'll notice that I've got masking tape on my fingertips, because this glue is like super glue. And once it gets into your fingers, it's not that easy to remove. Okay, and then we start coming up through the channel. And again, just zigzag that through there. It's not as easy to zigzag it in here. Let me just poke that down. Got to ensure that the seal sits right in the bottom of that channel and it sits square. And by putting it in on the angle like I do, right, and pull that tension, the seal doesn't touch the base until you've got it all the way in. And it's that simple. I haven't put the glue in this area. I'm going to put the glue in a minute, but that's, as you can see, it sits nicely. Alright, this is sitting quite nice around through here. Alright, we'll get up to the top and I'll show you making the miter joint. Okay, I'm up to the top here now. I've just cut the two lengths of miter joint. This is to make the miter joint up the top. So we again use the same glue. eyesight's not quite as good as it used to be. But I think I'm still capable of making that miter join look okay. Now what's important here is that we actually use the grease and wax remover or Prepsol to remove any excess glue here so that it doesn't get caught up in the corner when we're putting it into place. Okay. We'll do a dry fit. Just make sure that that's going to go in and sit up there alright. As you can see, it's got to look quite nice once it's glued right in there. It still needs to be held back a little bit in there, but that's going to fit nice. Okay, now I'll glue that in. Make sure that glue gets all the way down there and in there. And as we've just done before, move that straight up into its position. Making sure that the seal ends right up in the base of the channel. Fairly slow and steady will generally make this job, or the finish on this job, look that much better. I might just pop that. There we go. So that's the seal fitted up. Okay. Now what we need to do is refit the door, make sure it's adjusted properly, and do some finer tweaking if necessary. Okay, we've just fitted the door seal, the door back up here after fitting this inner panel and so on. Just to strike a plate properly, and the door is now you couldn't ask for a nicer seal than that. That is sealing, or opening and closing beautifully. You can see that it's sealing nice along that leading edge there. We know that it's sealing up around here and all the way down there. There's the seal doesn't poke out of the door anywhere, but that's as simple as it is. Do it with one finger. That's as simple as it is. Now, obviously this seal's starting to get a bit dirty from this. Hold that open, will you? But as you can see, it's still sitting. It sits nicely all the way through there. I'll just demonstrate again. Bring it nice and close. That's it. All right. So there we go. That's the RSP door seal. Fitted. As you can see, it's not complicated. There's no major tricks to it. It's just about slowly as we go, get it in there nicely, and make sure that it's in the channel correctly. If it's in the channel correctly, you won't have any issues. We've just done some minor tweaking, adjusted the striker a little bit and lubed up the lock just to ensure everything's okay. Now what I want to demonstrate to you is how easy this door actually does open and close. David's going to open the door there and just watch it close under its own weight. If the door can do that, I don't think it would have done anything better than that out of the factory original.